Dear students, today we are going to learn a chapter called Change in Profit Sharing. A very important chapter with regards to partnership, because over here you will understand the meaning of goodwill, you will understand the meaning of sacrificing ratio and gaining ratio. This is something which you are going to learn and implement in another chapters like admission, retirement, death. So this is a chapter which will make your strong base or strong understanding about partnership. Now in all these things, the most important part is the goodwill. What is goodwill? Intangible assets. Also we call it as the reputation of the firm. Now let's say that a firm has been formed for last 5 years. After 5 years there has been a change. So what we say in accounts is that the goodwill which is being generated, okay, should be should be given to the sacrificing partner, because after 5 years there is a change in the profit sharing ratio. He is someone who is going to sacrifice his profits, right? To whom? To the gaining partner. That is why the journal entry forms like gaining partner debit to sacrificing partner account. In partnership form, from the chapter number 1, I'm been telling that whenever a partner is being paid, you don't give them cash, you credit his capital, and the partner who is supposed to give to the firm or to other partner, you debit the capital. This is the way you give and take anything from the partners. So now let's move on to the slide. The slide will help you to understand every aspect in a much better way. The first slide help you to understand how to find gaining and sacrificing ratio. In the example, it's written ABC are having ratio 1 is to 1 is to 1, and the new ratio is decided as 3 is to 2 is to 1. The formula to find the gaining and sacrificing ratio is old ratio minus new ratio. I would advise you to keep the same format or the same formula while doing rest of the chapters like admission, retirement, death. Now let us understand from the PPT, how does it go? Now for A, 1/3, because it is 1 is to 1 is to 1, we call it as 1/3, the old ratio, minus the new ratio. And what is that? 3/6. If I have to minus the ratios, I have to make the denominator common. That is the step number 2. So I have made the denominator common by multiplying 2 with the old ratio. It has become 2/6. After that, when I minus, I understand that the answer is minus 1/6. Now, let me tell you, when it is minus 1/6, it means A is a gaining partner. All right. So either you keep this part at this point in your mind that whenever the minus sign comes, it's a gaining partner. If not, you want to understand, then look into step number 2. What is it? 2/6 minus 3/6, right? 2 is the amount he was getting earlier, but after the new ratio has come, the amount what he is getting is 3 rupees. That is he is gaining 1 rupees more. So either from the step number 2 you can make out who is gaining or sacrificing, or once you get the answer you have to just understand this fact: whoever is getting minus is the gaining partner. Now what is the amount of goodwill he should be getting? Students make a common mistake of writing the entire 30,000 in the journal entry, or whenever you're doing a comprehensive sum, they write the entire amount of goodwill. Now this is the goodwill of the firm given to you, 30,000. All right. So you should be giving the sacrificing partner only his share of sacrifice. That is 1/6. So 30,000 into 1/6 is 5,000. This is the only amount you have to give. Let me tell you one more thing. You will find goodwill at two places in a sum. One in the balance sheet and the second thing in the adjustment. So this is the goodwill which is shown in the adjustment. The goodwill in the balance sheet has got no relation with goodwill in the adjustment. The goodwill in the balance sheet should always be distributed in the old ratio among the old partners. All right, we will discuss that in detail. At this point, this PPT slide will help you to understand how to find sacrificing and gaining ratio. That's the formula old minus new, and then how to distribute the goodwill. Let's move on to the next slide. Now you might have learned about reserves. What is general reserve or any kind of reserve for that matter? Reserves are the amount kept aside from the profit so that tomorrow, if there is any kind of calamities or any kind of loss, you have certain money or amount to rely or depend on, or you can have a fallback on that amount, right? So as per the prudence concept of accounts, we create reserves in a business. So the most important point is that from where do you create the reserve? From the past profit. All right. So whenever there is a change in profit, in all the chapters, what are we supposed to do? We have to distribute the reserve among the partners in old ratio because it was from the old profit. Okay. So it would be wrong that if you do it in the new ratio, because it is not the efforts put in from today. It is your past efforts put in, and that is why it should always be divided among the old partners in old ratio. So general reserve, WCR, profit and loss, investment fluctuation are all your reserve, but there is employee provident fund, which is not a reserve, but it's a liability. I have purposely written it over here so that the concept is clear from beginning. Employee provident fund, the word fund, okay, gives a wrong impression that it is some kind of reserve kept, but it is not a reserve. It is just like any other liabilities like creditors or bills payable or even bank loan. It is just a liability which you have to pay to the employees on their retirement. Okay. So now how do you distribute anything in the liability side? The answer is you have to debit that item. So if you see the journal entries, it's clearly mentioned over here. General reserve debit, WCR debit, PNL debit, IFR debit. This is what you debit and you credit the partner's capital. Now in the balance sheet, right hand side, you have goodwill, you have got PNL account, you have got deferred revenue expenditure. Old goodwill should be distributed in the old ratio. P&L account is basically your loss. Please understand this fact. Just because it's written in the asset, don't be under an impression that it is a profit of the business. It is a loss. It's a different style of writing the loss in the asset side. If I had to write it in the liability, I would have minus the loss. Just like last year, you added the net profit, but if there was a net loss, you minused it, right? In sole proprietor, same thing over here. You can either minus it from partner's capital or you show it separately as a loss. Some companies wants to see what is the loss every year, so they have separately shown it. Deferred revenue expenditure, that is nothing but your fictitious asset, what we learned last year, but ideally it is also a loss of a business, so it has to be distributed. In simple words, all the profits and losses before change in profit should be distributed among the old partners in old ratio. WCR and IFR, I have already discussed when I made the video how to prepare revaluation account. So please look into that video to understand this part. Very important things. because IFR, WCR is something which comes in all the board exams and students get always confused. So that video, I have explained the things in detail. Now let's look into the next part when we are looking into a sum. You know that any kind of reserve should be distributed, but in this chapter, particularly only in this chapter, what happens is they might come up with one important statement, and that statement is they decided to retain the reserves, or they might say they decided to keep the balance sheet intact, or they might say that the reserve should not be distributed. What does that mean? If we go by the English language, they don't want to distribute it, as simple as that. So we don't have to do anything. But we are not learning English here, right? We are learning accounts. So in accounts, there is a hidden meaning to it. If they don't want to distribute, yes, keep the balance sheet as it is. But there is a person who is sacrificing, isn't it? When there is a change in profit sharing, he should be getting his share. And who will give that? The gaining partner. So just like goodwill, you know the journal entry gaining to sacrificing, even for this reserves, you will be doing the same. You'll find the net reserve, that is 25 plus 10 plus 5 plus 22 minus 4 and 16. So in step number 1, I got 42. Okay. And what will I do with this 42? I will give the sacrificing partner his share. Now the sacrificing partner is sacrificing 1 by 6. So I will not give him the complete 42. I will give him 7,000. So C is sacrificing. He gets 7 from whom? From A. Now this entry can be combined with the goodwill entry, because in goodwill you do the same thing. So ideally, I will add this 30,000 and 42,000, and I will pass one single entry, that is for 12,000. The points over here will help you to understand this particular slide in a much better way. These are the points which students forget. I have put it up so that you don't do any mistake. Now that it can be for the reserve, it can also be for revaluation. In revaluation, what happens? The value of assets changes, right? So you have to find the revaluation net figure and distribute among the sacrificing partner. Same thing. They will say that there is a lot of changes in machinery or furniture or creditors. They will give all those details and they will say they want to keep the balance sheet unaffected, unchanged, intact. It means once you get the revaluation profit or loss, you cannot distribute among the partners equally or in the profit sharing ratio. The sacrificing partner will get his share from whom? From the gaining partner. Now comes the revaluation account. This slide is already been explained in the other video. Okay, revaluation account, let me put up in a simple word. It is a revaluation account is a nominal account wherein you debit all the expense and losses, credit all income and gain. Now let us understand the capital adjustment in this chapter. Okay, this year only this chapter has got capital adjustment and it is way too simple. It's not complicated at all, like admission or retirement. Now, what is capital adjustment? Ideally, they want a new capital to be shown. All right. So, if I'm only making a capital account, how will it look? Let us understand. From the liability side, which is the items which I have to put in the capital, all the reserves, that is 30K, the old ratio 1:1:1. So I distributed as 10, 10, 10. Capital I posted 50, 50, 50. Now let's analyze the asset side, goodwill and advertisement expense I have to post in the debit side. Okay. So that is that I have posted. I have written very clearly posting from BS, that is balance sheet. So the posting part is done. Now there is a goodwill. As I told you, this goodwill and this has got no relation. This goodwill is the new goodwill. And why have you valued the firm's goodwill so that sacrificing partner get his share. So over here, what I understand is C is the sacrificing partner and he's sacrificing 1 by 6. So C should be getting 30,000 into 1 by 6, that is 5,000. So now if you see, just ignore the alignment. Okay, it should have been a bit right hand side. So C should be getting 5k, and who is going to give 5k? A. So in under A, you will see 5k. This is how you give debit and credit effect for goodwill. Very important, because this is going to be there for all the chapters. Not only for this, for coming all chapters, you have to give an effect of goodwill. So you can't go wrong. If you only give to C and don't pass the second effect, the sum will not tally. So be sure about posting. All right. Now, after that, what are you going to do? Now, let us read the sum. They are saying the net capital to be adjusted in new profit sharing ratio. What is net capital? Net capital is your entire credit side minus the entire debit side. That is what we call it as net. So whatever is there in the credit side, okay, maybe the capital introduced, or maybe the salaries, the IOC, you can have a lot of things in the credit side minus the debit side, but I'm going to do it for all the partners, not individually. So I am going to add 50 50 50 plus 10 10 10 in the credit side. That gives me 1,80,000 minus this side. Now, some students add 5k minus 5k and they double the task. You should understand, if it is debit and credit, obviously you don't have to do anything much. Same thing, if you analyze, there is triple 10 here, triple 10 here, again you can ignore it. So ideally 150 minus 60, that is 90,000. So the net credit is 90,000. Now how they want the net credit capital to be? In which ratio? New ratio. So 90k you have to divide in 3 is to 2 is to 1, and you will be writing two balance carried down, 45, 30 and 15. Once this part is done, your sum is almost completed. You see the steps clearly mentioned. Post all the reserves, capital, balance, do the adjustment for goodwill and revaluation. In this sum, I had not put revaluation as such, but otherwise you will be creating a revaluation account. Find the net capital 90k, divide it in new ratio and post it to debit side. This is the closing balance, no? Opening balance of capital is in the credit, and closing balance is always in the debit side. Once this part is over, you have to simply do the closing of your ledger, what we call it as balancing. So when I close A's ledger, what I find is the debit side is 80k, that is more, and credit side is falling short, so that is the balancing figure. With B, there is nothing, both the side is equal, but for C, this side is 20k. All right, so this is what I complete my capital account. Now, interestingly, what happens with students is they do this part, but they do a small mistake when they do the posting in the balance sheet. Now, two balance carried down is there, 45, 30, 15. That is the capital. You have to post it in the balance sheet capital side, liability side. Now, I say it's written here to cash hyphen current account. Depending on the sum, at times they will say the difference to be adjusted by opening current account or by cash. Whatever the sum is telling, based on that you will do it. So the balancing figure, if they are saying by cash, you should be using to cash and by cash. The word cash has to be used. And when you say this cash is been debited and credited, ideally it will not have any change in the balance sheet, because the same amount of cash is been debited and credited, right? But what happens when it is current account? It's written to current account of C by current account under A. Even though the figure is same, the representation is very important. Now, where did you post this 45, 30, 15 in the liability side? Same thing, this 20K should be posted in the liability side. Liability side, you will be writing C's current account 20K. And in the asset side, you will write A's current account. It also means that A is supposed to pay 20K to the firm. All right. So when it is current account, the representation is a little different than when it is cash. I hope this slide is also clear. This one has got a test for 20 marks. Every item which we discussed or we learned today is been put up here. If you attempt this test and send it to me as PDF, I will surely correct and also give my remarks to you where you are going wrong. I hope this chapter is clearly understood. If there is any doubt, please don't hesitate to send WhatsApp or email to me. I will definitely revert to you. With this note, I end this video. Thank you.